Welcome back to another vlog. Today we'll be installing an access panel for the purpose of cleaning the duct and also the fan blades. So right now I'm just getting ready, putting on my safety gear, which is that face shield and also my headlamp. Putting on my gloves because today we'll be using a grinder and we don't want that sparks flying everywhere and get into our eyes or face. So safety is first. I know, I should have a guard on my grinder. I took it off the last time I used it, and it's somewhere in my van, and I need to get that sorted out, put it on, because safety is actually first. And while using it, there were a few mishaps, and luckily I was able to control the grinder, and nothing happened. But I really need to find that guard and put it on that grinder. So right here, I'm just cutting around the pyramid of the sticker that I sticked onto the duct. Um, cutting. So the thing is, you have to cut it exactly how that sticker is designed. It's like a guide for the cutout. So the sticker is basically a template of where you should cut. Any variations to the left or the right of that sticker, it's gonna pose a problem. The door itself won't be able to sit in the space comfortable. So if you go outside the sticker, then it's going to be too big. So the door is not going to cover that hole that you just created. If you go inside the sticker, it's easier to adjust by just shaving off that excess of ductwork that is left, and the problem will be solved. So as you use the grinder, the blades will get lower and lower. So as it gets lower and dull, you have to replace the blades. Right here, I'm just replacing one of the blades with a new one. It's pretty simple. You could use a tool or you could use your hand if you know what to do to remove that old blade and replace it with a new one. Always remember, whenever you're changing or replacing the blades, disconnect the power from that grinder. You don't want to be changing the blades while the grinder is plugged in because mistakes do happen. You don't want to lose a finger or two. Yeah, so right here I'm grinding, cutting a straight line. Oops, look at that. That was a close one. So this is why it's so important to have the guardrail on that grinder to protect you from mishaps like that. So there's several things that could have happened. It could have slipped, my hand could have get caught in the blade. That's like that's gonna be real bad. We're talking about going to the ER, possibly losing a hand. So don't be like me doing this. This is very dangerous. I don't think I'll be doing this again without that rail on. I'm gonna take some time and find that guardrail. If I can't find the guardrail, I'm just gonna purchase a new one. Or I think I could purchase the rail by itself on Amazon. So I'll be checking that out. So after making those horizontal cuts, Right now, I'm gonna use a cutting blade and just cut all those four corners. A straight line is fine, because once I made all those cuts, then I'll use a different blade just to smooth the corners into a curve. If you look closely at the template, all the corners are curved, and that's how the access door is designed. So right now I'm banging in the middle of that sticker to open it, but the corners weren't cut properly. So I'm gonna go over it right now, just a little bit, just to cut that metal that's holding it together. So once the metal is cut, all the corners are cut properly. I'm just gonna just bang on the opening. See, it pops right open. There we go. So right now I'm getting a change in my blade. So this is a corner edge grinding and polishing flat disc. This is used to smooth all those cut that I made, because this opening is access to do cleaning. So if you put your hand inside, you don't want any metal like cutting you or tearing your clothes. You want it smooth for cleaning purposes. So I'm just using the blade, just getting those corners rounded so the door can fit properly, and smoothing those edges that was cut with the cutting blade first. So once that is done, we can get our door. Um, the door is closed or sealed tightly with two wing nuts. Open and close the door. So we just open it slightly, slip it in, and then we just tighten those wing nuts and close the door. And there we have it. An access panel door installed for a grease duct, giving access to clean both the ductwork and also the exhaust fan. A point to note that these access doors are designed to withstand up to 2,500 degrees Fahrenheit, and they're made specifically for kitchen exhaust ductwork. Yeah, back again with another one. Yep, yep. So this is what we're working on today. This is an upblast fan for an exhaust hood. Customer called, fan not working, so I'm here to check it out. Um, there are several reasons why the fan is not working. It could be an electrical problem, or it could be a mechanical problem. Um, so the first thing you want to do is to just eliminate all the problems that it may have. I normally start with checking the electrical first to make sure there's power actually going to the fan. So we start downstairs at the breaker, make sure that's on, it's on. Then we come to the fan and we use our tool. So this is our best friend here. This goes with you everywhere. You use it all the time and it stays with you. You know what I mean? So you have to, once you're an electrician, you have to have one of these. If you don't have one of these, you're not an electrician. You know what I mean? These, you have some persons using pens. Let me show you. So these pens, I use it like just for a quick check, just to see if there's power in a wire, but it's not so accurate. This malfunctions also. So do not trust this tool. This is just an extra tool just to check to see if there's power. You want to make sure that there's power, you need this. Alright? So I checked already. Make sure that there's power right there. That's a junction box. Make sure that power is here. Make sure the power is also leaving. So a lot of times the switch may be burnt out. So you check if the power is coming from line in, line out. And then once you see that this is working, then we go to here. Alright, and make sure that there's power actually going to the motor. That was also checked. There's power going to the motor, so we surmise that the motor is the issue and we need to replace the motor. Now, replacing the motor, there's a lot of things that you need to know. First, you need to know the phase of the motor, whether it's a single phase or a three-phase motor. You need to know how many volts coming from the panel going to the motor, whether it's 120, 240. That's for single phase. Three phase can be 120, 208. That's low voltage, and then we have high voltage, which is 277, 480. I need to check that. I think that's right. So yeah, so for commercial business, they use 208, 120, 208. And for residential uses 120, 240. But here we have, so this is a unique case, and this is why you need to check it thoroughly, right? So right here they have three wires coming from the panel. So this should be three phase 208. However, the motor that is inside is single phase. So all they did was use two legs, right? And just cap off one of the legs. I don't know why they just get a three phase motor, but you can't do that. So there you get less than 240. But it works, because it's a range. So the motor is range from 208 to 240. So you can use that way. So instead of using three legs, they use two legs. Whosoever did this the last time. I don't like doing that. If it's wired for three phase, I just get three phase motor and that's it. But I'm not gonna reinvent the wheel.
whatever they did, I'm just gonna do that again. Because I would have to, because there's no power coming from one of the legs, so it could be a situation where it was capped off from the panel. I would have to open the panel to find out why they did that. Yeah, so I may have to come back and go through it thoroughly, but they're cooking downstairs, a lot of smoke. They just want to get this up and running. So I'm just gonna run to the supply store, get that motor, just drop it in, and have them good for service.